Hi, folks. Welcome to Real Estate Success. I'm your host, Mena Badros. Here with Sekou Pyle, who's the Director of Growth at Start at Zero Ultimate Agent Training, and a lot more. And we'll get to that. Sekou, good to have you, man.
Nice to be back, man. How are you, man? It is great.
Yeah, no, I'm great. I'm great. Good to have you again. Real quick, I want people to get to know who you are before we dive into some business stuff. Without mentioning your professional accomplishments, can you tell people who you are?
I am let's see. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm an ex. I used to train martial artists, I used to train security guards. Uh I am a techie without knowing tech. How's that sound? Like I like all of the technical stuff, but don't really understand it.
You
Uh,
know enough to be dangerous, right?
yeah, there you go. There you go. Star Trek over Star Wars. Um, let's see. I am a revised or reformed gym rat. Um, and
Love
last, I guess, last but not least, fantasy novels over self help books every day.
that. Nice. Uh, now let's get into some real estate stuff. I know you've done a lot over the years. We'll get to that. But what do you do now in real estate? Like, how does where do you spend your time in real estate right now?
I'm still in production. Um, you got me at a good time. I started a new team, Modern Agents, the Modern Agents team here at EXP. So we're going to be good for about 300 transactions this year, 2023. I coach every day. I keep about 40 one-on-one seats available every year. And I have pivoted to doing this team coaching, which has really been beneficial to the folks that I'm working with. The name of the coaching style that we do is deal a day coaching, right? So we teach people how to put together a deal a day every day they decide to work, and it's really outrageously popular. The latest program we have is called the Quantum Agent, and that is realizing all of the virtual aspects of our business and how to apply it and do some really lucrative business moves that way. And that's it, man.
Awesome.
Day to day.
That's it, right? So you actually just mentioned quite a few things there. I'd love to unpack some of them. Deal a day, without going into too much detail, can you tell people about that? What is that training or program about, or what is it like?
I'll use an analogy, man. If you opened a bakery today, assuming that you were passionate about what you were doing, did you open the bakery to work the cash register?
No.
No, not one single person. And so chances are, if you open a bakery, you have a passion for baking. Every day you got to bake something, man. It's just
Right.
the reality of your business. If you're not baking something, if you're not putting the best donuts in the world out there, if you're not putting the best cakes in the world out there, then what are you doing? A deal a day coaching is baking your cakes every day. Basically, it's putting your product out to the world for the world to enjoy, and being purposeful about it, so that you are not only generating business for yourself, but you are contributing to the mission that you have as a business, and you are contributing to the whole industry on purpose, so to speak. Um, it's a really interesting concept. We did last year in 2022. We did 300. So far, we've done 378 properties, give or take, deals falling apart or something like that, which is a little bit over a deal a day. And it was done by sheer will. We actually spent less money on leads in the last 2 years than we have in 10 years as a team. Uh-oh, I think I lost you, Mina. So I'll keep talking until you come back, man. um, the idea of this coaching is to the idea of this coaching is to agents and turn. Uh-oh, we're back.
Yeah, I lost you. Give me one.
I just no worries. It's still going. It's still recording. I kept talking too.
Okay, good, good. So I'll let it rock.
Yeah. So last but not least, man, what I was just saying was the deal a day coaching is a way to take agents from any stage in their development and make them purposeful about production. You know, if we were using that same bakery analogy, you could have all the right ingredients for your recipe, but put them in the wrong order, and you're going to get a much different result than if you do it the right way. And if you don't have the right ingredients, no matter how long you bake that cake, you're not going to come out with a cake. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's just not going to do it.
Yeah,
So we put together the right ingredients, we put together the right order, we put together the best practices, and really bake that cake.
awesome. You know, I actually got a chance to check out your one deal a day training you did with Nick. So for those who are kind of interested in that, just let me know, and I'll be happy to share that. I know we don't have the time to go through the training right now. Um, you know, you mentioned when you were talking about your team, you said we're gonna do X amount of deals this year. You know, and how do you know that? How are you able to predict that um, with confidence, right?
I I'm a bit obsessed with numbers, right? Numbers are the language of your business. I'm a bit obsessed with numbers without being an analytical, right? But I know that every 33 people I talk to, I converted into a closed transaction, right? And so with my team, if I can mirror my performance even by half, I know that every 15 to 20 people they talk to, they're setting themselves up for an opportunity. Every 60 people they talk to, they set themselves up to do a deal. So we have some minimums that we do. Each one of us make 100 contacts a day, which sets up for me 3 deal opportunities, for them 2 deal opportunities every single day. We pre-qualify 3 people from inside of our phone every day, right? Phone, Facebook lists, et cetera, et cetera. You pre-qualify 3 people a day, 5 days a week. That's 15 deal opportunities every week. I guarantee you at least 7 of them, at least half of them are going to turn into transactions every single week. And then last but not least, we teach people to ask for the deal. Even when it doesn't seem probable, even when it doesn't seem logical, ask for the deal. We don't meet with someone without asking for a contract. And just that act alone, those 3 acts alone, puts us in a position to predict with some degree of regularity, even conservatively, that we can put together at least 1 deal a day every single day.
Awesome. Um, you know, give me 1 second here.
And what's funny is that the numbers that we're working with is in the 300s, but in actuality, we only work about 222 days a year. So
Hmm.
we're doing a little bit more than a deal a day. But I
Right,
like to add that into the degree of uncertainty and probability.
right. You mentioned that you're kind of shifting to team coaching. Just curious, you know, why and kind of like what problems did you identify that you can provide kind of the solution for, and why did you decide to focus on that?
I tell you, the number one reason for team coaching is that the single greatest tool for coaching is accountability.
Hmm.
And lone wolf has a hard time being held accountable by anyone.
Yeah,
2 of you will actually let yourself off the hook a lot more, right? Be like, I didn't do, we didn't do. But 3 is community. 3 or more is community, and there is nothing more accountable than the word of community. So by doing team coaching, we set up community, we set up accountability, and it's a really supportive environment. So that when your coach then reaches in and goes, "Hey, listen, man, I need another yard or 2 after contact," you know, there's other people there to provide you with support than just your coach.
awesome. And how are you providing that? Because I know you have a few, you know, programs, outlets. You have your own team. In what form are you providing team coaching or offering that?
Everything is virtual now, man, and it's the way of the future. No, it's not the way of the future. It's the way of the now,
Right.
right? And so the breakdown of my coaching is if you are a one-on-one member, you get 44 meetings a year, right? 44 half-hour meetings a year. You get access to lead gen, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the team actually multiplies that, right? So they get 3 times 44 meetings a year. What's that? 136 meetings a year.
Right.
And what happens is that the format is set up so that they succeed between their leadership, their expectations, their goals, and how to achieve it, the tools to achieve it, we every single week we chip away at the big stones so that we make them a real sharp tool, and they can achieve those sort of deal a day objectives.
Awesome. I love it. Let's talk about problems and solutions. We talked about that, and we'll kind of keep that thought pattern going. Prospecting, lead generation. Two of your big fortes. Um, what are some challenges and more so fears, right, that you see agents having around that topic?
So I'm not going to give you the regular answer. Everyone says, fear of rejection, or the 1,000-pound phone, and the whole nine yards. This is and that. I'd say that what most agents suffer from is the fear of perfection,
Hmm.
right? And so these agents will theorize about what to do. They will put together their lists. They will gather their tools. They will do all of the prep work necessary, except for the action necessary for them to get results. So understanding the mindset that you have to make a mess in order to clean up, in order to progress, right? You have to mess this thing up. So you have to pick up the phone. You've got to script poorly before you can script properly. You've got to ask questions weird before those questions get smooth. You've got to do it wrong before you can do it right. But the thing that you have to do is do it. You have to take action. And so I say that the single greatest transgression, the single greatest fear that most agents has is, what if it works? What am I going to do next if it works? I see very talented agents miss out on opportunities because they won't take action. You know what I mean?
Right. So, I mean, my next question was going to be, what is the solution to that problem? But you kind of just mentioned it. Take action, make the mess, right,
That's the
and
motto:
then
make a
learn how to
mess.
clean it up.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get another tattoo that's just gonna be a pile of Legos,
Hmm.
and it's just gonna be like a pile of Legos is the greatest metaphor for success. Is what can you do with a pile of Legos? The answer is anything you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so we're all a pile of Legos, man. And you could spend your time color coordinating the piles of Legos. You could take them and separate them, and this is and that, or you could just build some shit and see what comes out of it.
Hmm. I love that. I know you've done a lot in real estate. You've been in the game for some time. Walk people really quick, kind of through your journey. How did you get started in real estate? What have you done along the way to get to where you are today?
Personally, I lived in a rental on 156 in Riverside Drive in New York. It was a basement apartment. It was one of the biggest apartments in the building. Because it was a basement apartment, it was actually prime real estate. I didn't know it was prime real estate. So I
Right.
bought the building went co-op, building went condo, excuse me. And people were first like, don't do it, don't buy your co-op, this and that. But it was going to take my payment down from $500 a month to $450 a month. And so I bought my condo, right? A few years later, this guy walks up to me while I was hanging out in the street with my friends in front of my building, still like I was still renting there. I was still hanging out in front of my building. And he offered me $800,000 for my apartment. And after a couple of times of me trying to figure out whether he was serious or not, and chasing him away, my uncle was like, "Are you crazy? Turning down that good money? Take that money, you damn fool." And once I did that, man, I flipped a couple of other properties after that, and it was just in my blood. I came out to Jersey. I was married to a woman, and I came out to Jersey because we didn't have enough room in my little tiny condo in the city. And she says, "You know what you should do? You should get your real estate license. We will sell a couple of houses a year, and you will live off of your profits." Well, the cold reality of real estate set in, right? And I was sitting there like everyone else, like rocking back and forth, waiting for the phone to ring, and it just didn't work. And I remember I moved from that office to a larger office, and I say to the manager, there was these guys in the back room. You could hear the buzz from the back room. The phones just clicking and ringing and click, 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 click. And you could see the board behind all of the green and red dots of them doing deals. And I was like, I want a spot in the back room. She was like, you got to earn a spot in the back room. I was like, what's it take for me to be in the back room? And she just handed me a script book. She handed me the Mike Ferry script book. She said, learn those scripts and you'll get a spot in the back room. Well, I looked at the scripts. I don't want to say anything out of space, but I was like, this is the most white bread shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm never going to say the awesome, super, this and that. And I threw the script book into my drawer and didn't even think about it again until I started getting a divorce. Right. And when you start getting a divorce, right, what happens is that you can't focus on anything else but the damn divorce, right? You can't focus on making money or anything like that. And one day I come into work and I had a BlackBerry at the time, little short BlackBerries. I come into it. Yes, I'm that old, doing real estate on a BlackBerry. I had a BlackBerry and I took it and I opened the drawer really hard to throw it into the drawer, and the script book comes into sight. And I'm thinking, this is crazy.
Maybe it's time.
I'm not do this. Yeah, it's not. I'm not in the mood to do this, but I don't know if I could do this without it. And the very first call I made was to this for sale by owner, who was probably the sweetest guy in the world. His name is Chris. I can't say his last name. We were on the thing, right? But his name was Chris. Yeah. And every single question I asked, it was as if he was reading the script back to me. I was like, where are you moving? He was like, I'm moving to California. And he was all like up and excited and shit. And I was like, I'm looking around the office thinking that somebody's punking me. And it wasn't like a Cinderella story. It didn't turn around overnight, man. But I got a coach, Tony D'Souza. What up, Tony? If you're out there in the world. And Tony was like this real, like, badass blue collar coach. And he would be like, hey, Sekou, let me ask you this question. Is your problems better with or without money? And I'd be like, with. He was like, all right, put your big boy panties on, pull them all the way up, and hit these phones, because I promise you those problems will be there when you finish. And if you want to face them without money, don't make any calls. You want to face them with money, make these calls, make some money. I made 80 grand that first quarter that I did my business like that, like, kicking and locking in. And the sky's been the limit. There's been 3 times where my business went to zero, and all I had to do was refocus my contacts, my leads, appointments through just conscious decision, and I got back on top. Each time was a lesser and lesser time to get back on top.
Awesome. I love it. So I kind of heard scripts, getting coached, making the calls, just taking the action, right? And kind of being consistent with that. And I think you still do those things today. But if there was one thing, say that again. My bad.
Every day, 200 contacts a day.
Every day, 200 contacts a day. Awesome.
Every single day.
If there was one thing or one moment that you think was a turnaround or kind of changed your real estate career, what would you say that was?
Understanding that I'm not spending money, I'm investing money. Looking for a return. I'm a fire walker. I did the Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins, and that was a hefty ticket. That ticket cost a lot of money at the time.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah, it was not cheap. And we were in person and, cost a lot of money at the time. It was money that I really didn't have, but I freaking spent it, right? I put it on my card and I spent it. And I left out of there. First of all, I left out of there cookie dough. Like, I went in there all guarded and in shields and stuff like that. And I left out of there like, oh, I can't wait to start. But I walked on that fire, baby. And when you walk on that 1,200 degree fire for 20 feet, your life changes. Your life changes. I walked in there with all of the I'm a hood dude, right? Like, I'm from Uptown, from Harlem. I'm this hood dude. I graduated summa cum laude from UCLA, the University of the corner of Lenox Avenue. Right? And so all that comes with, all of those superstitions, all of that stuff that it comes with was still with me. Right. And when I walked on that fire, it burnt it all away, bro. Burnt it all away.
What do you think it was, real quick? Like, what about it? Is it the walk? Is it the pain? Is it the mental, process that you have to go through prior to? Or
the best thing that I can think of is you didn't have to think about being born. Right? You were just born, right? And yes, you had a part to play in it, right? You had to survive. You had to push through. You had to do all of this stuff in order to get here. And it probably was uncomfortable for everybody involved. That's exactly what the fire is, man. It's like if you have to think about it, it's not working.
Mm.
Right? You just do it. Like it turns the volume down on all the other shit that you're afraid of, all the other stuff that you have to go through. I'm going through something right now, but because I walked through the fire, it's light. It's light. I can
I
I
love
can I can I can conceptualize on what will happen when I do it, but I can't even picture me not doing it.
that. Awesome. I love it. I have one or two more questions for you. Then we'll do some rapid fire, and
I
then
got you.
I know you probably have an offer for some of our viewers here.
I certainly do.
So we're in the same company, same brokers, EXP Realty, same community, Honey Badger Nation. I know when you came to our company, you came with a team, right?
Mhm.
What was the problem that the team was experiencing that couldn't solve before joining or partnering at EXP?
So if I had to give it a one word answer, it was culture.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay.
And so before coming to EXP, let me say, when I first came to EXP, I made a huge mistake. Right. And that was thinking that it was just going to be a better version of where I was leaving. I was leaving Keller Williams. I thought that EXP, profit share, rev share, I just thought it was going to be a better version of Keller Williams.
Right.
And I couldn't have been more incorrect.
Hmm.
Right. Like this far surpassed whatever expectation I had. There's places that I couldn't even conceive of that I've gone as a result of being here. The culture where I came from was one that spoke about collaboration but didn't do collaboration. Like the audio and the visual didn't match up.
Right.
Um, and they had a lot of great stuff that they did. There was a lot of great ideas, but the execution just it was too fragmented. Everybody was in their corner. Everybody was trying to figure out how to do best for them instead of the group and collective. Um, the easiest answer that I have is I came over here. We were doing probably about 150, 200 deals a year. And we were sitting at the table with people who were doing 500 to 1,000 deals a year. And I was trying to steal the answers, right? You know, Prometheus stealing fire from the gods, right?
Right.
And one of the gods just reached across the table and snatched my pen and paper and wrote down step by step what to do. Instead of me having to steal it, it
Awesome.
was given freely. And that's just been the culture every step along the way where I'm at. Um, Last but not least, right? Like last little thing, I have always talked about getting a spot at the table. I want a spot at the table. I want a spot at the table. What EXP has sort of made me realize is that I am the table.
Oh wow. Love that analogy. Yeah.
So that's that. I don't know if that's problem and solution, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think it does cover problem and solution. So, real quick, rapid fire stuff. If you were starting your real estate career right now, modern technology, current economy, everything, what is one thing you would focus on?
I would focus on consistency with the message, getting it out there on socials, getting it out there on the telephone, as many ways as possible, getting my message out there, getting my mission out there. I look at social media as if it is a Super Bowl commercial that runs 24 hours a day.
Hmm.
Right. And so I would be on there all the time.
Awesome. Aside from that, one piece of advice for new agents.
Piece of advice for new agents is get a coach.
Okay. Piece
Get
of
a coach.
advice for seasoned agents.
Get a coach.
Okay. One big message to all real estate professionals.
Put your mission on paper and put it in front of people every single day.
Okay, I love that, and I would love to ask for expansion, but we don't have time for that. I know I usually say, "Cool, you come bearing gifts."
Well,
Usually, if
here's a
there's
gift.
anything that you want to offer, folks, feel free.
Here's a gift, right? I'm going to say my mission and I'm going to put it in front of you right now, right? So I'm on a mission to coach and train the best agents in the world. And in order to do that, I have to find and cultivate them no matter where they are, even if they don't know they're the best agents yet. So I'm offering team coaching, one-on-one coaching, and this thing called the Ultimate Agent. I am going to give a huge discount for anyone that comes through Mena. You just mentioned the lion behind him, right? The cosmic lion behind him, and I will give you an amazing discount. So 44 coaching sessions a year for one-on-ones, 136 coaching sessions a year for teams. And the Ultimate Agents is a 90-day program designed to kick ass in the social media realm on a level that you could not possibly imagine. All of these things are 3 different programs. Each one of them are available to you. There are 7 one-on-one slots left available for 2023. People are snatching them up. So there are only 7 one-on-one slots available. You can coerce me into doing some more if you mention that that cosmic lion behind it.
Awesome. So I'll make sure to get that information from Sekou and pass it on for those who are interested. Sekou, thank you so much. A pleasure to have
My
you,
brother.
and I'm sure we'll do this again.
My brother, man. Happiest of happies for all of y'all. I love you, man. I'll see you soon.